Kahalayimla, Alhainao Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Mashiach Wamalaki Yabah Shem Harawat Wakakwaras Barakathum, the water Bible ball Wakwam Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily. To the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine, I say Shalom. Today we're going to get into a video whereas Esau is concerned about so-called black people forgiving them. That tells me they're feeling two things. That's that guilt kicking in, number one, and that fear is kicking in. They know the prophecies because the prophets have been on the internet and in the streets. So they heard what's about to happen to them. And this is, I would say this is larger than that. It's global now because what other reason would these other nations come together trying to give us reparations? Because they're trying to buy our forgiveness. They think if they just pay us off, the Lord will let them off the hook. That's not how this thing works. Prophecy is going to play out regardless of what you do, Edom. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you can try to pay us off. You're still going into captivity. We don't want your dead dollar. We don't want your blood money, bro. We want you in chains. So you got a lot of, in this video I'm gonna play, it's gonna be a couple of minutes. This video, these Edomites are concerned about us forgiving them. And I'm thinking, when have you ever cared about how we felt about anything? See, the Lord putting them curses on them. Now they getting scared. Now they want some forgiveness. No, we can't forgive you, first of all, because we're not in the position to be judging you. The Lord is going to judge you. Yeah, a so-called black Christian can forgive you. Yeah, they can. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be judged still, though. That's what you're really trying to get out of. I know you're missing having a good night's sleep at night because I know these curses and these prophecies are keeping you up at night. That's what they're supposed to do out of guilt and fear. So let's get this video, but first I'm gonna read this copyright disclaimer. And yes, another thing they're doing, they shadow banning videos, brothers. So they even shadow banning fair and balanced. So don't be looking at your views getting discouraged because they doing some heavy shadow banning. Let's go ahead and grab the copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let's go ahead and grab the video. Now, this video is from the Twins Hangout Kenya. These two Hamite girls, they twins, and they do a lot of videos. So just check them out. I'm gonna let a few minutes of this play, and then we'll get out some scriptures, and then we'll close this thing out.
Energy crisis or a lockdown, it's the consequence of a world war. White people are insane. We can't be honest. We can't be honest about the effects of what we're doing. Unbelievable. Black people told us that racist people were bad across the board, but we didn't believe them because we didn't want to change the way that we thought about our parents. But we thought Donald Trump was just going to steal from black people. We thought he was just going to allow Latinos to get raped. But now the violence is up for women all around the world. White people are like, oh, wait a second. Now the boomers are like, wait, we have to go back. We're insolvent. Okay, Donald Trump is up $4 billion and the country is insolvent.
Now, for those who don't know what insolvent means, I think it means you're unable to pay your debts. Let me look it up so we can get an understanding. Insolvent definition. Yep. Insolvent describes a person or business unable to pay their debts as they fall due to or when their total liabilities exceed their total assets. In other words, America is doing what they've always done, spend money they don't have. Now, I don't understand at all how you print your own money and you over 200 trillion in debt. Only an idiot can do that. Let's go.
White people are like, man, we made our kids our servant class for nothing. What the was the 400 years of slavery for? Why did we steal all that land? The irony, though, of all these baby boomers having to go back to work after they thought that they fucked us over enough so that they could retire is amazing. He stole $4 billion this year. He's up $4 billion, and our whole entire economy is insolvent. And now, his supporters are like, well, why did we abuse our kids? And why do we not have a relationship with our kids, right? We were supposed to retire, and that's how we're supposed to retire, is just cutting them off and not feeling any sort of attachment to them. And that's how the white economy works. But for the first time ever, white people are like, what are all these economists for?
So one of the things that used to really haunt me about our nation is how easily things could have gone differently for the Black community at several points in our history. They would have radically shifted where we are today in 2026. I mean, we could have easily given freed slaves 40 acres and a mule.
See, you see, Edomites, the only reason he want to go back in time to make it right is because the curses are hitting them now. Now, if America was great and they wouldn't feeling the curses, this man would not be saying this. See what I'm saying? That's what Esau does. When he feel like he's in trouble, now he want to make some corrections. And that's a scripture. There's always a method to Esau's madness. Let's go to the book of Sirach. Chapter 12, verse 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. Listen to this. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee every time. That's why I said never trust thine enemy. He want to make things right now so he can get out of judgment. That's what it is. He want to make things right with the Israelites to get out of judgment. That's the only reason, not because it's the right thing to do. See what I'm saying? Let's go.
Easily. But instead we gave them Jim Crow and another 100 years of racialized terror and labor exploitation. After the Civil Rights era, we could have funded MLK's Poor People's Campaign. But instead, we funded the war on drugs that, again, terrorized the poorest Black communities across this nation rather than empowering them. And all of this used to really haunt me. But what I've been hearing the Lord saying is that He has used all of it, all of the affliction, all of the heartache, all of the pain and the suffering, to prepare for Himself a people for this specific time in history. The Black community in America, says the Lord, has been forged in the furnace of affliction and held in a place of derision. But
see, now they're quoting scriptures. You see, where was all this passion when y'all was on top, not suffering from any curses? Where was all the passion then? You too busy enjoying America because it was great, right? Yeah. Now they feel some kind of way about us. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not altogether been wiped away. They know how to play that submissive role just to position themselves in a position they need to be in. They're trying to get on our good side. And that's not going to get you out of your judgment, Esau. This is written. So it's going to happen. So you can go crouching unto us all you want to. The Lord is still going to get your nation.
now I says the Lord. I am turning the tide and lifting them to a place of great honor, and they will lead in this next season like never before.
So I asked, will the rest of the world ever forgive us for electing someone like Donald Trump? Japan. Not a chance. Trump is just the symptom. From now on, any long-term deal with the United States needs a moron premium in case you elect someone even worse in the future. Netherlands. It's not just Trump. There are 75 million of him that can't be trusted. It will take generations if it is ever restored. France. It's not so much just the election, it's everything that wasn't done to stop him. The United States is lawless. Owie. Remember that the question...
You are lawless. Starting with your president. Very lawless. Book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
The question was, would the world forgive us? Great Britain says, sure, as quick as the rest of the world forgave Germany in 1941. France. U.S. today reminds one of the crumbling empires before the world wars. Arrogant, deaf to the world's anger, convinced of their own invincibility. History doesn't lie. Empires fall, and it's never the outsiders who bring them down first. It's the rot inside.
She just spoke two prophecies. Let's go back.
Won't ever forgive us for electing someone like Donald Trump. Japan. Not a chance. Trump is just the symptom. From now on, any long-term deal with the United States needs a moron premium in case you elect someone even worse in the future. Netherlands. It's not just Trump. There are 75 million of him that can't be trusted. It will take generations if it is ever restored.
See, that's one prophecy right there. Thou art greatly despised.
France. It's not so much just the election, it's everything that wasn't done to stop him. The United States is lawless. Owie. Remember that the question was, would the world forgive us? Great Britain says, sure, as quick as the rest of the world forgave Germany in 1941. France. U.S. today reminds one of the crumbling empires before the world wars. Arrogant, deaf to the world.
That's one, arrogant. Let's get that one. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10. And we can start at verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let him be taken in the devices that they have imagined. See, they thought this was going to be a quick in and out like Venezuela. No, they're being taken. They're being outgunned, out-missiled by Iran. They wasn't expecting this. Verse 3, for the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. See, this man want to take everybody's country, everybody's resources, and then just because of the fact that he hadn't been punished yet, he thinks the Lord is blessing him because he's covetous. But the Lord actually abhorreth him. Verse 4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. Listen to this. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. And as for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Like, psh, we could take their stuff too. So if you puffing at your enemies, you don't respect nobody. You don't respect your enemies. That's why they held that meeting and then bombed the country in the middle of the meeting. Would you do something like that to somebody you respect? Of course not. But it's like we said, Trump doesn't know what respect is. He sees disagreeing with him as disrespect. So you can't disrespect him because he doesn't know what it is. He wouldn't even recognize it. Verse 6, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved. I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Exactly. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. This man can't stop bigging up in himself for nothing. But all that played out, nobody respects him, nobody likes him because he's a weak, pathetic excuse for a man trying to play tough. You're a billionaire, but you can't wipe your own ass. And it's all stolen blood money, so there's no respect there either. You're a billionaire, but you can't go nowhere by yourself because you know somebody gonna take your ass out.
World's anger, convinced of their own invincibility. History doesn't.
See, convinced of their own invincibility. What do we just read? He have said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. This is what this man thinks. He thinks it's his. He basically trying to steal back the birthright, but it's not gonna work. That's all. Let's go.
Doesn't lie. Empires fall, and it's never the outsiders who bring them down first. It's the rot inside. America.
That's another scripture. That's in 2nd Ezra chapter 11. Yeah, 2nd Ezra chapter 11, verse 39. And it reads, now she said it's going to start from the rot within, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 11, verse 39. Are not thou it that remainest of the four beasts whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? They're going to destroy themselves because they're destructive, violent, parasitic people, Edomites. Verse 40, and the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. For so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. That's Esau all day. Let's go.
America should stop blaming everyone else and start taking a long, hard look in the mirror.
It's Thursday evening. The rest of the world is never going to forgive us for this. The rest of the world is never, ever going to forgive the United States of America for re-electing a man who everybody who voted for him knew was a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist, a fraudster, 34 felony counts, convicted for trying to improperly influence the 2016 election. He tried to overturn the 2020 election and incited a violent insurrection at the Capitol and went on to be indicted 91 times in 4 separate jurisdictions.
See, 91 indictments in 7 districts. And then to top that off, I seen a clip from Trump 40 years ago on the Barbara Walters show. And he asked Barbara Walters, why can't we just go in Iran and just take their oil? Why can't we just go in Iraq and just take their oil? And she was like, what you mean just take it? How you gonna take it? But the point is, he was talking like a lawless thief back then, and he's still talking like a lawless thief now. Now, he was talking about just going in these people's countries and just taking their shit. Okay, yeah. You had 5 times to do that. You claim you had bone spurs. So you talking all this tough shit on a talk show, but you won't join the military. But yet you talking about taking other countries' shit. See? Weak ass Edomites. Let's go.
And the mouth-breathing, fart-huffing dipshits in this country, 77 million of them, re-elected him as president of the United States. And now he is on the cusp of destroying the entire global economy for every.
Yep, and that's another testament to the fact that your judgment will stand. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 6. Verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. That's why this man's so crazy about weapons, because he's weak.
Buddy. Because he and Pete Hegseth wanted to blow some shit up and for Bibi Netanyahu. The rest of the world is never going to forgive us for this, ever. Nor should they.
Okay, I'm about to infuriate someone, but I'm thankful that Trump came along. For one reason, and hear me out here. Because before Trump, I was a lifelong Republican. I didn't see any of what I see today in terms of our history, the layers upon layers of injustice as a nation who...
See? That what he just said right there. That's why you're going to get judged. Because as long as you benefit from this corrupt system, you will willfully turn a blind eye to wickedness. That's Edom. They're no longer benefiting from this corrupt system. So now they're paying attention. There was another Edomite that he asked the question, what have we become? And the answer is, what have you been ignoring the whole time? What have you ignored? You Israelites have always been telling you how wicked Esau is. Esau refused to believe it because believing that Esau is wicked is not beneficial to Esau. That's why he reprograms himself. I'm a good person. I'm a Christian, But in all actuality, if y'all were such good people, why is your country in the condition that it's in? Why is the United States on the brink of world war if you're such good people? Why do the other nations despise you Americans if you're such good people? See, they are very willing to turn a blind eye to wickedness if they benefit from it. But as soon as that benefit runs out, now they want to start crying. You're done, E.
we actually are versus who we think we are. And I was asleep in a very real sense, but Trump woke me up. And I started digging and reading and learning our history. And I realized that Trump, in so many ways, is the embodiment of everything we don't want to admit about ourselves as a nation.
See? So that's an admission of guilt right there. He said that we don't want to accept about ourselves. So you know that you're wicked. You just don't want to accept the fact that you're wicked. So that's why you tell yourself, you lie to yourself every day, all day, I'm a good person. I'm a good person. You people are delusional. And that's why you're about to get judged. Unfit to rule. Delusional, insane, and mad.
He is a mirror to America. And this is why we made our documentary, The Sins of Our Fathers, which will be coming out later this fall, to help others who are still asleep to wake up. Because I believe that God is holding this mirror of Trump up for us so we can see ourselves, particularly the white Christian community, which is what the film is all about. So we can see the hypocrisy, the racism, the cruelty, the greed that has...
Why you want to see all that now? Because you no longer benefit from a corrupt system. You could have been open your eyes to all these atrocities hundreds of years ago. But you turned a blind eye, being willfully ignorant because you benefited from the violence, from the destruction, from the deaths. Now it's Edom's turn to bleed.
all been justified in Jesus' name, from slavery to Jim Crow to MAGA. Because this film isn't about Trump. It's about us, who we are as a nation, the mythology that we have passed down generation after.
You didn't pass down mythology, you passed down lies. Let's get that right there. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanities, and things wherein there is no profit. Yeah, because why is that though? Because of Psalm chapter 58, verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And they can't turn it off because the Lord programmed these Edomites to be born liars. They were created to be born liars.
Generation that we're some sort of city set on a hill when what we really are is a whitewashed tomb full of dead men's bones. I think the saddest part about life under Mad King Trump is that it's not like we weren't warned. When the whole ICE situation blew up and we were watching these horrific scenes unfold every day, I thought, this is what the black community was trying to warn us about during the George Floyd protests.
And you chose not to believe it. You chose to be willfully ignorant about the violence of your own people. Like George Floyd was the first one to be murdered by a cop. Stop it. Your benefit is ran out. Now you're scared and you're feeling guilty. That's all it is. Well, don't get scared. Now's not the time. That comes later. First, that guilt and that shame gonna set in.
They had already seen firsthand the brutality, the excessive use of force, and the complete erosion of the Fourth Amendment, which paved the way for the blatant racial profiling we're seeing now. But we just didn't listen.
No, the reason your violence is so out of control is because you don't check your own people. Unfit to rule. You don't punish your own people. You turn a blind eye to it and call it good. Unfit to rule. That's why the Lord finna put a foot in y'all ass.
And now we have militarized ICE agents everywhere, crawling our streets and even our airports. You know, our law enforcement was emboldened in the inner city during the war on drugs, and the black community tried to warn us. Millions of them tried to warn us. But we said, that's their problem. What's that got to do with us?
And we feel the same way about you trying to figure out how you're going to handle your guilt and your fear and your curses. You got shit to do with us. So stop asking us to protest. Stop asking us to speak because we have washed our hands of Edomites and the United States. We have spiritually checked out of this place.
Well, it's got everything to do with us now. Because the black community has always been the canary in the coal mine. The problem is we just never seem to listen.
Right? Like, what are all these scientists?
Okay, we can come out of this. Y'all can watch the rest of that video. But yeah, this is just a result of their guilt and their fear creeping up on them because they know they feel them curses. But see, the thing is, Edomites are committing suicide and killing each other, but their kingdom is still standing. It hasn't fallen yet. So that's an indication of their weakness in itself. You offering yourself and things ain't got bad yet. Society's still up and running. Let's get some more scripts. Go to the book of Proverbs. This is book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 10. When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth. When the wicked perish, there is shouting. Yeah, they complaining. They don't like it. They perishing. They don't like that. Doesn't feel good too, does it? We know it don't. Now let's go to Psalms 58. Verse 10. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. Verse 11. So that a man shall say, verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, he is a God that judgeth in the earth. Y'all gonna know the Lord is real when he get through with the nation of Edom, especially them Amalekites, the tiny tops, the Israel knots. That's what they call them now on the internet. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 20. Verse 27. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. Prophecies popping off the pages, baby. Go to Jeremiah chapter 30. I'm just running down a few. I don't want this to be a long video. The elders told us to start shortening our videos. You know, it's kind of hard because when you're used to teaching, you want to make sure that, you know, the viewers are thoroughly edified. So sometimes when I leave out scriptures, I feel bad. I'm like, man, I should have threw that one in. But anywho, time is winding down and y'all running out of time. So the apostles and the elders told us to shorten the videos, get to the point in and out. So we're gonna start doing that. But this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. Spoil mean rob. And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord Yahweh, because they have called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Yeah, the Lord he's basically restoring, he raising us back to the top, slowly but surely, because everybody's attitudes have changed towards us. Everybody's attitude except Edom. And all he's doing is revealing he's the wicked, you know, that perpetual hatred. Yeah. Go to Revelation chapter 18. I'm Salakia, chapter 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great. Listen to this. And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. That's Esau, the terrorist organization known as the United States of America. Let's get this one. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. We can't forgive you because we're not the ones about to judge you. And even if we could forgive you, why would we? If you was us, would you forgive you? No, you wouldn't. So why are you asking us to forgive you? Ain't no forgiveness for the wickedness you have done. And those who do say they forgive you, they stupid as hell. Because forgiveness doesn't work like that. You got to repay what you have stolen. And the Lord is going to take it in blood. Can't just print off no money and pay off the Lord. No, He's going to take it out y'all asses. Get this one. We'll close on this one. Since y'all so worried about forgiveness and everything, let's go to the book of Nahum. Now you want forgiveness when you've been shitting on us for over 500 years. Boy, stop. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 2. Yahweh is jealous, and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. You will not be acquitted. The Lord has his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. You done, E. It's time to pay for all that shit you have done, everything you lied about, everybody you have murdered, and everything that you have stolen. And then after that, you're going into 1,000 years of captivity. And then you will be rounded up and exterminated, and there shall be none remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. Book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 18, roughly paraphrased. So pack your shit, get ready to go into captivity. Call halal yimla, Allahayna wa Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, wa Malaki, by Hashem, Harawat, wa Kakorash, Barakatham, the water Bible Bar, wa Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.